What's going on, everyone? So the Utah Jazz have made Colin Sexton available. They've essentially made everybody on their roster available, but Colin Sexton is a guy that they really are motivated to move off of. Probably because they have just an abundance of guards now, right? And they kind of need to clear some playing time for some of these guys. And look, Colin Sexton, a couple seasons ago, right? I was more than happy to take. We talked about the original Walker Kessler trade and Colin Sexton, like, hey, maybe get these two. Even last trade deadline, it was like, hey, we could use some scoring. This is before all the Luka stuff, before we knew about the Luka trade and whatnot. It was kind of like, hey, Colin Sexton could make some real sense. Get a Walker Kessler, boom, let's do that, right? Colin Sexton doesn't make as much sense anymore. I'm not really a fan of going and acquiring Colin Sexton like I was previously, right? Like, same thing with, people asked, I was big on, Zach LaVine, right? People were like, do you still want Zach LaVine? I was like, no, you don't need Zach. Zach LaVine made sense based on the previous roster. It's the same thing with Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton made sense with the previous roster. Didn't make as much sense now with Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. Now, if you were to trade Austin Reeves, not for Colin Sexton, but like say you were to make a deal where it was like, no, you were getting Walker Kessler, right? And you're getting Kessler, and you kind of want somebody to kind of, fill in the Austin Reeves role, maybe off the bench or a start or whatever, right? Then I could see Colin Sexton maybe making a little more sense. Also, I feel like the report that came out about it listed like several teams, and the Lakers, I felt like the Lakers were just kind of thrown into that, just so it was the Lakers kind of just thrown into that, right? Like, now look, there are like Brian Windhorst reported that like the Lakers are active in trying to get wings, and they're active in trying to get centers. And Rob Pelinka talked very heavily about, hey, I want a center. We're active. I'm not sleeping. We're turning over every stone, all of that for a center. Trust us. We're going to get a center, right? So, but those make sense. Getting some wing depth, getting centers, especially if you end up trading for a center, you're probably giving up some of your current wings now. So it's like, like you're probably going to need some more. So you're in this like weird spot. But going and getting essentially a scoring guard doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Not anymore. Now, look, I like Colin Sexton a lot. He would be excellent as a bench piece. Like if they just want to kind of get off of him, right? And you can get him in a bench role as like just a bucket getter off the bench. Sure. Right? The price is right. If you can get him for essentially salary filler and a pick swap, something like that, because they're just like, we're gonna lose him for nothing because he has an expiring contract, right? Then fine, so be it. But problem is he's making, he's not. If he was making like $10 million a year, I'd be like, sure, take a flyer on him. Why not? Right? Like it might be worth it, but he's not making $10 million a year. He's making like $19 million this year. You look at his contract this year, he's making 18.975. So basically 19 million this year. And then he'll be an unrestricted free agent. It's the problem, right? If he was making like half that, then yeah, sure. Like I'd be like, hey, you know what? Why not go take a flyer for him, right? Maybe, bring him in as a bucket getter off the bench, especially if you end up losing it. Because Lakers bench was awful, right? Lakers had one of the worst benches in all of basketball last year. Colin Sexton is a guy that could really help with that. I mean, you look at last year, on the surface, he averaged 18.4 points, 2.7 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. So again, he's a guy that can get you buckets, score, shoot the basketball, right? He defensively, he at times can be great. He just has to kind of do a better job of like locking in and focus, right? Taking more pride on the defensive side of things. That's the problem, is you have moments where you're just like, watch him defensively and you're just like, there it is. And then there's moments where you watch him defensively and you're like, this guy might be the worst defender in all of basketball, right? Like it's just like one or the other. It's just him finding that consistency on the defensive side of things, right? But when he is locked and engaged, he's relentless. He is a pit bull. I mean, if he wants that basketball, he's getting that basketball. But again, it's just him doing that night in and night out. Now, it's also very different when you're on a bad team, like the Utah Jazz, and it's like you're losing by 20 every night. It's like, what do you want me to do, right? You want me to be the best defensive player on the court when we're down 30? Like, no, it's not happening. So, no, you get to a team like the Lakers where, you're trying to contend for a championship, and it's like, hey, I need to focus, right? I need it, especially if you want playing time and whatnot. It's like, hey, I need to lock in and focus. Again, if the Lakers are trading Austin Reeves, sign me up for Colin Sexton, right? If you took, Reeves and Maxi Kleba, or Reeves and Connect, there you go. Reeves, well, I guess you'd have to do like Max Kleber do, because again, Sexton's making like 19 million. So let's say you do Reeves, Connect, and Kleber, and you got like an Austin Reeves and a Colin Sexton plus, something else, right? Or even if it's a wash, right? Whatever. Fine. Right? Because you're getting some of that Austin Reeves production in a Colin Sexton, but you're also getting like your franchise center, right? So if you're getting the guy that's now in the franchise forever, right, then great. And then, bring in a Colin Sexton and kind of give you that offensive production, give you some more playmaking, right? Like, he's not the playmaker that Austin Reeves is, but again, he's a guy that can make plays, right? And so I wouldn't hate it, but get into the numbers real quick. Played 63 games last year, 61 games started. Now, for those that are like, 61 games, that's it. Keep in mind, they like literally rest guys for like weeks at a time. It's not an exaggeration. It's literally like weeks at a time. So he started in 61 of the 63 games. He averaged 28 minutes per game, took just under 14 attempts, 13.8 attempts. Shot 48% from the field, shot just under 41% from three-point range on 4.3 attempts, 2-point range, 9.5 attempts, 51.3%, EFG of 54.3%, shot just under 87% from the free throw line on 4 attempts, grabbed 2.7 rebounds, 4.2 assists, a steal, half a block, and 18.4 points per game. You look at his per 36. So basically, he's getting over 30 minutes, under 30 minutes. He'd be 23.7 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 1 steal, half a block. Right? He's fine. But again, I don't like him starting. I'd love him. Like, if you could go get him, bring him in, one, he's low risk, high reward, because if it doesn't work out, you just let him walk, right? And clear off the 18 million, which is why I wouldn't trade any assets for him, but you could just let him walk, clear salary space, right? But if it does work, could you sign him to, 15 million a year or something like that, or 18 million a year, and whatever the, going rate for a sixth man is, and just him be the sixth man? But is that also something that he wants too? That's something you got to keep in mind. Like, is he okay with being the sixth man for, his career and coming off the bench and playing 25 minutes a night or whatever and just being a bucket getter? Maybe, some guys are, right? Look at guys like Manu Ginobili, right? Was more than happy to come off the bench and was comfortable in that regard. So, again, he's young. He's a guy that can come in. He can play a role. Like, I don't hate the idea. It's not something that I'd be running to the door for. If that makes sense. It's not something that I'd be, sprinting to go make happen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? Do you like the idea of Colin Sexton? Do you think, stay away from Colin Sexton? Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.